Well, hello YouTube. Here we are with ourselves a cooking video. It's been a while since I've done one other than a barbecue video. Well, if you're like me, you had yourself a bit of a New Year's get-together, of course, on New Year's. And there was a little bit of leftovers. For me this year was kind of a veggie type of New Year's, where I had like veggie trays and meat trays and cheese trays and all sorts of other kinds of trays. And pretty much what we got left over are, well, leftover veggies and stuff like that. You know, cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, green peppers, you know, as you see, mushrooms and all that too. After you've ate enough of that you're kind of sick of looking at it, you don't really want to eat anymore, what do you do with it, right? Well, you don't really want to be throwing it away, so the next thing you could do is make yourself a stir fry. Of course, it's not going to be your average stir fry, because it's not going to have your, you know, like snow peas and water chestnuts and all those other fancy type stir fry type ingredients in it. It's just going to have your basics of pretty much what I got laying around. And I'm going to throw a little bit of meat in there, some fast fry type steaks, just to give it a bit of a beef flavor as well. So pretty much we're going to start by, you know, cutting up the green peppers and then tearing on into the mushrooms and cutting up what's left of the cauliflower. And then we'll start our cooking of our meat, and then away she goes. If you ever cut into a green pepper, you will know that there are seeds inside a green pepper that you have to get out, or you should get out, because, well, they're kind of annoying when you get one stuck in your teeth, or you end up eating them. So you just cut pretty much right through them, and you expose the core. Of course, there are the seeds. Essentially, that is what makes the next green pepper plant to come along the next season. So we'll just start by cutting out those seeds. So once you got her open like that, you can just run your knife along and in, and basically removing the whole seed pod, if you will, in one great big chunk. The remaining seeds that are left inside, if you do happen to come across a couple, you can just pick out with your fingers. You know, and then away you go, right? Now you can take a knife, you can get fancy, you can start cutting, you can have, you know, a time if you want cutting with her, or you can just, you know, kind of get her done, get her going, and get yourself cooking. So we'll start ourselves a little bit of cutting. Now, of course, being you're using these in a stir fry, the veggies are already a little on the softer side because they're, you know, not 100% completely fresh anymore. You don't have to cut them in very, very small chunks. When you're making a stir fry, it is semi-recommended to leave them in larger chunks. Then that way, they, when they do shrink, which they will in a stir fry, you don't lose them. If you make them into small chunks, you will lose them in your stir fry, and it'll be like you never added any mushrooms or green peppers or anything like that, because, well, they will disappear, right? Now, if you want, you can half these again, you know, if you will, quarter them, or whatever you want to do them again, and just making them so, you know, they're more a manageable chunk when they don't shrink down, so you don't have a great big chunk of a green pepper. So, of course, once you got that done, you can start tearing on into the cauliflower here. We'll cut up the remaining cauliflower. So when you're working around limited space, use a container, a bowl, anything to hold your product in, just to get it off your counter away from your work area, which essentially will give you more room. You're able to, you know, do better work when they're not having to fight for space and all that. What I like doing with cauliflower, broccoli and all that is breaking it off of the main stem. first before you end up cutting it up. Then that way there's less bulk to deal with. You can get her down to the basics of product there. So once you got her trimmed down, you can start your, you know, trimming her down even further process. And again, don't go too fine because it will, you know, disappear in your stir fry. Pretty much all veggies will shrink quite considerably once you get the heat to her. Okay, so we'll give this one here a little bit of a cut one more time, and then we'll get our container back. So this main ingredient of this stir fry is going to be veggies, of course, and the secondary will be the meat itself. So now we can tear on into our mushrooms. It is recommended to give them a wash because, well, they've been sitting on a shelf. I know they're sealed and all, but just in case the packagers and shippers at the other end didn't quite get the wash just so, give them another wash. If you took the other way out and you grabbed the whole mushrooms that needed to have been cut up, of course give them a wash too because they're not pre-packaged. You know. So basically in cold water, start your rinsing process. Open up the package of mushrooms. And basically dump them on into the container. Give them a rinse around, give them a swish around. Basically all you're doing is rinsing off any dirt, dust, anything that they might have missed at the packaging level. And once you're confident that they are clean to your liking, pretty much you're good to go. Put them in the container with the other veggies, and then we're good to start cutting up our meat. Okay, so once you got your veggies and that all cut, you can start going on your little fast fry steaks. These ones I'm using are the beef sirloin tip steak fast fry. Basically by fast fry is they're basically super thin, like 1/4 of an inch. So we'll tear on into these here. I'm removing them out of the package. And then we can start our, well, cutting process, right? There's no real wrong way, if you will, to cut the meat. There's no real right way. It's basically just your preference, your choice, how you choose to cut it. If you want chunks in your stir fry, I'd recommend you getting like the cubed steak type cube meat, you know, for stews and stuff. It just makes it easier. When I went to go pick this out, they were a little bit on the picked over side and I didn't have a choice, so I had to get these over the cubed stew meat. So I'm going to get this all cut and then we can start our frying process. Okay guys, so we got our big frying pan here. You can use a wok if you want. You can use it just a plain old frying pan. You can use a deep dish type frying pan like this. Pretty much the sky is the limit for what you want to use for your utensils. Turn on the heat, of course, under, and we'll add ourselves our meat to the mix. Pretty much, you know, just like that. If you want, you can add seasoning to it. You can add your, you know, salt and pepper, whatever you want to use in it. Kind of, I just treat it just like I would cooking any normal piece of steak. Except you finish it with, you know, greens over finishing it with, you know, something else, right? So what we'll do, guys, we'll let this stuff cook for a bit, and about the time I'm ready to add my veggies, I will do a check back in. Okay, guys, so here we go. Time to add our veggies into the mix here. Of course, I cook this with a lid on the pot here. just to make sure a lot of the moisture stayed inside the pot, because we're going to want to steam our veggies over actually physically, you know, cooking them, if you will. So we will remove the lid here, adding our veggies to the mix. There's no real wrong way, if you will, to do this. There's no real, you know, when you're kind of playing it by ear, there's no real textbook way, because you're kind of just making it to your own taste, to your own taste, to your own preferences, if you will. And if it doesn't turn out, then, well, there's always next time, right? So give her a good old stir. By now you have lost some of the moisture from the meat themselves. The veggies will add more moisture back to the mix. A little bit of flavoring and stuff like that will transfer from the meat. You can add some beef flavoring if you want to, just to, you know, say you did. Just to give it a little extra kick if you want. We'll throw some mushrooms in here. And then a few of our green peppers. Some stir fries use red peppers in there for an extra bit of zing. Like I said about the snow peas and the water chestnuts. It all depends on what your own personal preferences are. So we'll give this another little bit of a stir here. Adding yourselves a little bit of water, of course, to the pot here will create a little bit of steam, and it'll help the veggies to soften a little bit. So of course, while these are cooking, got a little idea here to cook ourselves some rice. So let's go do the preparation to the rice. Okay, so what we got here is, of course, the Minute Rice brand. Basically, it's just an add water and stir, if you will, and microwave it, and then she's pretty much good to go. So we'll add equal parts rice to water. Of course, the amount varies on the serving that you are making. Now you can add a little bit of butter to this, margarine to this if you want. You can do a little bit of salt, depends on your taste, your flavoring. And based on your serving guide, that's how long you microwave it for. So let's stick this baby in the old microwave, and by the time this is done, our stir fry should be ready to be eaten. The stir fry is now officially done. Pretty much gave everything a good old cook. As you see, the veggies have shrunk down quite a bit. They're cooked, meat's cooked, everything's good to cook. Nothing's overcooked for the veggie wise. Like I said, meat's all good. And just fresh out of the microwave is the rice itself. Pretty much, look, you can tell. For those of you that haven't cooked minute rice before, it's a very simple. You just put equal parts water to rice, a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt if you want for flavoring, and throw her in the microwave for a few minutes and away she goes. So let's dish this all out on a plate and then she's good to go. Well guys, there you go. Pretty much I served the stir fry over a bed of rice. A little bit of soy sauce on there and she's good to go. So just a bit of a recap here. Well, she's cooling. We took some leftover veggies that we had from our big New Year's party, and a little bit of fast fry steaks. You could use cubed stew meat if you want, or even cut up your own steaks if you want a better cut of meat. Fried them all up and then added the veggies and basically steamed the veggies. Got them to a soft stage, but not too soft, but not still, you know, hard or nothing. And you know, threw our rice in the old microwave there, and then away she goes. So basically this has been how I made my stir fry with leftover vegetables. So as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.